just do it with my hands. The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown. Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown! He's got a man. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's got it for a touchdown again. Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one. Man, that new intro don't get you hyped up. I feel like I'm Dan Campbell when you hear me yelling in the background of that intro there. I'm ready to run through a wall. Let's go. Let's go. If that don't get you hyped, especially when we're on, Victory Mondays. Beautiful, beautiful. Like I said in that intro, like I said during a live reaction, it's a beautiful day to be a Dolphins fan today. 6-3. All right. Tyreek Hill's arguably the best player in football right now, offensive player of the year, ain't no doubt about it. Tua playing at an MVP caliber level. Jalen Waddle taking that next step. I mean, there's a couple positives to take away from the defense. But it's a beautiful day. Because we're coming back home. And we've already gone over this, man. I've already thrown you all the stats when we did it last week. We were talking about this road defense and this home defense before anyone else was on the finish line. And, we were allowing 16 points per game at home. So I ain't worried about the Browns coming in. But we are going to have to, we are going to have to see if they're going to get their ish straight to take on this rushing attack, man. Because Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb are no joke. If anyone knows me and been watching me for years, everyone knows I'm a huge Nick Chubb fan. Nick Chubb has been my guy, man. I love that player. Ironically enough, Bradley Chubb's cousin, I believe it is. I'm a huge Nick Chubb guy. And even when he get hurt, I'd say he's the best running back in the NFL. And I stand by that. I think Nick Chubb is that dude, right? And the only other guy I felt that strongly about was Jonathan Taylor coming out. And like in recent memory, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like in the last 6 years, 5 years. And so I'm a huge and they can run the football, man. They can run the football. So, but we're at home. We got the Hard Rock Sun. Prayers to the sun. Ra, the sun god. Thank you. Help us like you did against the Bills. Because Bills fans, y'all just lost to the Jets. Are you sure it was the sun in Miami that beat y'all? Maybe, I don't know. You just aren't good enough. Just throwing that out there. And this is a guy who thought that was an AFC Championship team. I might have been wrong. That's for sure. And I know people are asking about Josh Allen. Everyone needs to hold up on the Josh Allen. I got this man in two of my 3 fantasy leagues. He's got a UCL sprain, and the saying UCL sprain and nerves related to is the actual phrasing. Shout out to the homie, the Watch Mister. This man is the good luck charm. Whenever he donates before a game, we win. So shout out to the Watch Mister. He donates $5. One of the biggest supporters of this channel. Appreciate you, homie. Okay, anyways, back to where I was going here for a second. With the UCL sprain. Now, I believe Josh Allen did have that same injury when he was at Wyoming, and he missed 4 weeks. So, but I think he's going to play through it. He came back, and he played after that had happened. He came back, and he played. So, he's going to play through that. So, yeah, but, yeah, man, hey. Everyone else around him can suck, but he needs to play well. because I need my fantasy points, all right? Sorry. Anyways, so Josh Allen, yeah, he's got the UCL sprain. I wouldn't, whatever. I'm not really going to bank it, but let's talk about this for a sec. Because this is what we are going to lead off with. I want my flowers now. Because I was the only platform going out on the limb and daring, after that Bills game, I was the only one out here aligning him with MVP talk. I was the only one saying, man, Tua playing at MVP. Bro, I asked it on the finish line. We asked it a couple weeks ago. We asked this weeks ago on the finish line. So I've been talking the Tua MVP talk on this channel for weeks now. And, because remember what I was asking, when he comes back, can he get back into the MVP talk because he was playing at an MVP caliber? That's what I was saying when he was out. And now, shout out to the beautiful Kay Adams. She has a segment we're going to show you here today. Shannon Sharpe tweeted out yesterday. I'm telling you right now, people are, and I got the new MVP odds. Remember, when I put money down on, I put money down on Tua to be the MVP, by the way. All right, I put it down at 6,000 plus 6,000. It's down to plus 2,000, and we'll show you where that ranks just in a second here. But when you talk about most valuable players to their team, I'm going to make the argument Tua is the most valuable quarterback to his team right now, and I'm going to tell you why. Patrick Mahomes goes down, right? He's missed games, and Chad Henne's come in, and they've won games. But we have a rookie head coach right now with an offense that's predicated on Tua's skill set. We can't afford for that. All right? Josh Allen. All right? I think that's I think him and Tua are probably the two most valuable, but I still think because of coaching over there, seasoned coaching, this is not a knock on McDaniel. McDermott's been around, Andy Reid's been around. I think with the systems they have in place and with the levels their defenses and their run games can play at, those teams can survive. Look at the Patriots. They won games when Mac Jones went down and Bailey Zappi had to come in. We haven't proven we can do that. We're the only team out of all those guys you want to name, other than, I guess, the Josh Allen, because we haven't seen them without Josh Allen, but I'm pretty sure they're going to win a game or two if he has to sit out. I'm not saying, if he misses 4, I would think they would win 1 or 2 of those, right? Just because of the way they've structured from front to back, coaching staff, just experience, right? We don't have that yet, right? Now, could we win a game with Skyler in year 2 or year 3 if Tua had to miss a game or 2? Yes, I do believe that. But at this juncture right now, I believe we are the most dependent. Look at the Ravens. They won games with Tyler Huntley. When Lamar went down, people out there were calling for Tyler Huntley to be the new starter over there and to get Lamar Jackson out of town. Right now, we are the most dependent on our starting quarterback. As crazy as that sounds, we haven't proven that anyone can step in and win games for us yet. Those guys actually have. So my whole thing is, Tua is the most valuable player in the NFL right now to our team. Arguably, Tua Tagovailoa is already the most valuable player in the NFL. Right now, this year, in this season. Midway point. I think the only other one you can make an argument for would probably be, honestly, Jalen Hurts. And that's because they're clearly undefeated. And Tua's undefeated as well. I'm talking about this season right now. Josh Allen, too, obviously, like I said. Because we haven't seen if they can win without him. But, I mean, we've seen Chad Henne's walked in and won games and Mahomes has gone down. Tyler Huntley's walked in and won games when Lamar's won the MVP. And they were calling for Lamar to go out of town and for Huntley on Baltimore radio stations last year with how Huntley was playing. We're the only team that hasn't proven. We're the only team. We are a playoff team right now. Zach Wilson, how unvaluable. He's one of the least MVP. Look at what Flacco did with that team. When you look at playoff teams right now, because we are currently a playoff team, if you didn't know. When you look at playoff teams right now, especially in the AFC, I think we are. Tua Tagovailoa is the most valuable player to his team out of all those people. We can't win without him. Show me. Last year to beat the Texans to finally win a game without Tua, right? Because even Flores couldn't win without Tua. Let's not act like this just ain't a McDaniel thing. Even Flores could not win without Tua. And Brissett, it took the Texans literally blowing that thing. What's his face? Wow, how is his name slipping my mind? The former Bills quarterback that was the quarterback for the Texans. Someone in the chat remind me quick. What's his face? Why is it slipping my head right now? Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod. Yes. Tyrod was a Dolphin killer leading into that game. It took Tyrod Taylor's worst career game against the Miami Dolphins, and we barely beat the Texans. Barely beat them. And now we're just seeing it heightened because now we have all these weapons around. Now we're seeing how important he is. We used to point to it last year, remember? On this channel, we used to point to it. I remember what was one thing I always said about Brian Flores, his record with Tua and his record without Tua Tagovailoa. Right? Because everyone used to say, oh, Tua's winning because of defense. Well, Rosen had this. Fitz had this. Brissett had this. Why couldn't they do what Tua was doing? When they didn't have a highlight reel game or something you could really hang your hat on, which Tua would have a few of those, why couldn't they be like Tua and still do just enough to win? Because even when Tua would give you a game that as a fan of the player, of the team, of the franchise, you wouldn't want to hang your hat on, but he would still do enough to give you the W. Still do enough for you to walk out with that win. Now, when we talk about the Tennessee game, when we talk about the Buffalo game, I said it then, I'll say it then. Hey, Tua wasn't the only one who didn't get off the bus. You go back to the Bills game, Andrew Van Ginkel was the only one who got off the bus. You go back to that Titans game, Duke Johnson was the only one who got off that bus. Even Jalen Waddle was dropping screens in the flat. So, listen, I'm going to say right now, and we're going to get into it. I think as it stands right now, man, this guy's 6-0. But the numbers he's putting up. Like, do you guys realize there's only one, and we did this last week. Remember, we did this whole thing last week. But now, remember, we did this whole thing last week about only one quarterback in franchise history to do this, and it wasn't Dan Marino. Well, now Tua just did something again. Tua Tagovailoa is the only quarterback in Dolphins history to have consecutive 300-plus yard games, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And let's not act like Dan Marino didn't have parts in his schedule for the whole time he was in Miami to lay it to a few bad teams in a row. And Dan Marino is the greatest natural thrower of the football, and even he couldn't do that. And he had the Mark brothers. And if anyone wants to do a little research, go look up the Mark brothers 40 times and then come back and talk to me. He had the Marx brothers, and even he didn't do that. Let's talk some facts here, people. Tua's doing historic things for our franchise. And with him, Waddle and Tyreek are doing historic things league-wide. But people tried to tell me Tua Tagovailoa was going to hold Tyreek back. And what did I keep telling y'all? What did I keep telling every single one of y'all through the podcast, through the preseason, through training camp? What did I keep saying to y'all? All they've done is light a fire under this man's ass. And Tyreek, looking at Tua, he's saying, they think you're going to hold me back. Let's show them. And then on the Tyreek side, what was I saying? He's going to go out there this year and he's going to say, because remember, I originally was like, 1,400. Then I got up to 1,500. Now he's blown me out of the water. But what did I say? I said, he's going to go out there and he's going to tell everyone Mahomes didn't make Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill made Tyreek Hill. And then whispering into his ear, man, they think you ain't good. You're going to hold me back. Let's go show them what's good. And here we are. Here we are. And I went on different platforms in the offseason when we got McDaniel. We started putting this team together. I said, don't be surprised if this team can catch other teams by surprise and just put up points. Boom. Ball game, nailed the offensive line. He said it's going to take about 6-7 weeks. Boom. Nailed that. This is, to watch this come to fruition, and by the time people start getting a hold of what we're doing, we're just going to start throwing wrinkles at them. Think of it. We're just opening up what we want to do. And we're still going to clean it up. Once we clean it up and everyone gets used to the motions and everything's going, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. So, let's get into this. Tua, to me, he is the MVP right now. I'm sorry. I mean, you just can't tell me otherwise. I mean, you look at what this kid is doing, it's unreal. It's unfreaking real. I mean, let's do this, all right? Tua Tagovailoa currently leads the NFL in touchdown percentage. He has 15 pass touchdowns on 216 attempts. That's a 6.9 touchdown rate. That's ridiculous. All right? Tua Tagovailoa right now, when he starts and finishes a game, not only is he 6-0, he has a 69.8 completion percentage. He's thrown for 1,870 yards in those 6 wins. He has 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. His 17-game projection over those 6 start all the way to finish games, guys, 5,298 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. When you project what he's done in the 6 games he's started and finished over 17 games, are you kidding me right now? 5,298 in terms of yardage, 43 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That's MVP. That's runaway MVP. That's here. Justin, Joey boy, hold my bags while I walk up and go get the MVP. Oh, Justin Herbert, cute little Pepsi rookie award you got there. That's ridiculous. That's what that is. You look at right now, Tua through 9 weeks. He's first in passer rating at 115.9. He's first in QBR, 79.9. He's first in yards per attempt at 9.2. He's first in touchdown percentage at 6.9, like I just said. He's first in expected points added per play at 0.19. He's first in net yards per play at 8.54. He's third in completion percentage at 69.9. Fourth in interception percentage at 1.4%. And he's fourth in sack percentage at 3.6. And speaking of EPA, if you look at the last 4 MVP winners in adjusted EPA per play, Mahomes in 2018 had 0.38. Lamar in 2019 had 0.344. In 2020, Rodgers had 0.37. And then in 2021, last year, Rodgers had 0.265. Right now, Tua Tagovailoa, his adjusted EPA is 0.404. The man's blowing them out of the water. He's putting up MVP numbers. And he missed 3 games, and he's tied for 4th in touchdown passes. G Firm says, don't forget the number 1 graded PFF quarterback. Well, I was going to show you all that when I get to the PFF grades. But yeah, that as well. I mean, what now? Where are the... Woo! Oh, man, I got to hear what the narratives are now. Man, because I'm hearing Jiminy Crickets. That's what I'm hearing. What are you going to say now? This guy's giving us the best quarterback play we've seen since 13 donned a Dolphins uniform, and it's not even close. And I know some of y'all overly supported Tannehill. I know some of y'all overly supported Josh Rosen when they weren't it. I know some of y'all were banging Jacoby Brissett and Teddy Bridgewater were going to be the guys when they came in here. Now what? Now what? I know a lot of y'all really love Chad Pennington. This guy's giving you Chad Pennington on steroids. Chad Pennington on steroids. Even all the old school fans who were fans when Greasy was around, they're coming around. What are they going to say? They're real fans. They know. They're like, yeah, we ain't seen something like this since Marino and Greasy. We know what time it is. So now what? Now what? Tell me. Explain to me. I'm just saying, baby. Woo! Oh, man. Some of y'all jumped the gun way too early. Instead of admitting y'all wrong, instead of being real men admitting y'all wrong, you're just trying to double down and spin new narratives. Real men admit they were wrong. Ian Baller, narrative, he left TDs on the board via underthrow. Counter narrative, every quarterback in the NFL does that. Counter narrative, counter narrative. They're probably the same people talking about the almost interceptions that Tua has thrown this year, but don't want to talk about how Josh Allen leads the league right now. I love it, Russell. He is Steve Young, Drew Brees. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he's a winner. This man wins you games. How, as a fan, could you even hate this right now? We should be protecting. This man should be Florida greatness in terms of you guys should be down in the South. Y'all should be protecting him with your lives. Y'all should be making sure this man makes the field every Sunday. He should be a Miami treasure right now. He's the best shot we've had at a Super Bowl at the level he's playing at right now since, again, 13 donned the uniform. Literally. This season we're seeing right now is the best shot we've had at a Super Bowl in quite some time. This is way better than the 2016 team. Okay, and Tannehill got hurt anyways. This is better than the Wildcat team. We don't need gimmicks to light you up for points. Shout out to EM Baller. EM Baller says, Chris Canty, Tua can't do it in the cold. Hey, last I checked, didn't he go down to Maryland last year and he's practicing in the rain, practicing in the cold? I ain't worried. With these guys, listen, and this is what people are going to hate. This is why I love it too. And I'm just waiting for the cold weather. Ladies and gentlemen, the way our offense is structured, in the cold weather, what did I hate? Remember, I was losing my mind last year when we played Tennessee. What did I hate? What was I losing my mind over? Remember, I was going nuts over the fact that we were dropping Tua back, right? And we weren't giving him high percentage throws. While the Tennessee Titans initially did that, saw it was not working with Ryan Tannehill after the first drive, I believe. First drive and a half, 2 drives. Then they switched it up and it turned into nothing but play action and high percentage throws. Just in cold weather and sleet conditions, keep it from the sticks to like 12 yards out. You want to push it deep, 15. I ain't trying to push it past 20. Because we got the weapons right now where we can get it from the sticks to 12 yards out and we can still take it to the house. So I'm not worried about cold. I'm not worried about sleet conditions. First of all, we didn't have this offense. Second of all, we didn't have this personnel in those conditions. So, totally different ball game for me. Chris Canty, you know what he can kiss. So, I ain't worried. Cold game? Look at it. And we got Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert. If those guys stay healthy, run the football, play action, take what the defense gives you. We'll be fine because we got... Unlike all these other teams, we can take what the defense gives us, and it can turn into like a 75-yard throw and catch between Tyreek and Tua or Waddle and Tua. So, I ain't worried, man. I ain't worried. And again, Bones just nailed it. Bones just nailed it on the head. Tyreek Hill coming from KC. Get that man the ball. He knows what to do in the cold. All right? Get that man the football. He'll show you. He's the best football player in the world right now. I'm sorry. Tyreek Hill is the best football player in the world right now. And I'm not even trying to be a homer. This guy he's the best in the world right now. I'm sorry. I'm staking my flag in that. Tyreek Hill is the best football player in the world right now. Sorry. When you look at athleticism, when you look at ability at his position, he's the best. He's the best. And there you go. Bradley Chubb did too. We were good, man. I'm not worried about the cold. I'm not worried about... Because our offense and our personnel is totally different, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. We got an offense where I can, just give me a 3-yard drag and I'll just boom over the middle and then you just take it up the left sideline and we're good to go. So, and what's crazy is what I love about this is, what multiple people didn't factor... who hate on Tua, when you get greatness like this in the room like Tyreek Hill, it rapidly speeds up the growth and development of players around him, i.e. Waddle, i.e. Tua, right? Listen, some of y'all in the chat, I'll never forgive you, I'll never forget you for the ones that were doing it. Back when we did our preseason roundtable 2 years ago, when they acquired Stephon Diggs, I kept telling y'all Josh Allen's going to take that step this year. Josh Allen's going to take that. This man is one of the best route runners and one of the widest catch radiuses in the NFL. Watch. This man's going to grow and develop under this guy, and he's going to take that step. Y'all had the audacity to call me a Bills fan, and why it bugs me so much is you do not understand how much I hate the Buffalo Bills. There are 3 professional sports teams I hate the most in this world. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Buffalo Bills. And then you can throw the Jets and the Patriots right below that. But those 3 teams I hate with a burning passion. So when people had the audacity to call me a Bills fan, when all I was doing was giving y'all a proper evaluation that ended up being true, because people never account for that. See, this is what people need to get out of that Madden mind state. When you bring in great players like that, you can't account for growth. That's why they put Tua in a position. You're either going to sink or swim this year, kid. You're either going to sink or swim. We've surrounded you. You're either sinking or swimming. Right? We all knew that coming in. And the kids out here doing backstrokes and frolicking. I don't know what to tell you. But people had the audacity to call me a Bills fan. Let me tell you all a story, okay? And if the kids are watching, just cover their ears for 2 minutes. In 2003, I walked in to then Ralph Wilson Stadium, literally chanting, "Fuck the Bills, fuck the Bills, fuck the Bills," surrounded by a whole bunch of Buffalo people, drunk off my face because we didn't sell it at convenience stores like y'all did down there. And I walked in there chanting that, all right? So let me tell you something. Now, I would do that in Philadelphia against the Flyers, but I'll end up getting killed. Let me tell you something. Don't ever compare me to a Bills fan. Buffalo is the armpit of the world. Never mind North America. All right? The only good things to come from Buffalo, okay, are the Griselda Records family, like Benny the Butcher, West, all those dudes, and Dolphin fans who actually want to live up there, and Penguins fans who want to live up there, and Toronto Blue Jay fans. The rest of them, Jesus, the world is better off without Buffalo. Let me tell you all that. Okay? Not a Buffalo place. But if you fall into one of the categories I named, you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize for putting up with Buffalo. Okay? Ian Baller says, Skip says Tua ain't good, then hyped up the OU QB. Yeah, I saw that today. Man, Skip. All right, Robert Carrillo. That's funny. I love your reason. I love you too, bro. So anyways, this MVP talk has turned into this tangent, and we're going to go over time, but that's fine. Let's get into it now to get into the MVP talk, because now the media's come around on Tua being the MVP. So it started yesterday. If you did not see it, this is what Shannon Sharpe tweeted out yesterday. He tweeted out, at some point, we're going to need to put Tua in these MVP discussions. Tyreek for Offensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. I agree. Tua Tagovailoa, all day, baby. All day. See? Shannon Sharpe, and this is a guy who was a former Tua believer, and then because of Flores and that god-awful offense we dealt with for the past couple of years, he became a non-believer. But look at how on the bandwagon he is right now. Look at how on the bandwagon he is. You gotta love it, man. You gotta absolutely love it. And this is what the amazing Kay Adams said today. Check this one out.
Tua Tagovailoa officially needs to move to the front and center of the MVP conversation. Not said it. Tua racked up over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Dolphins won yesterday, 35-32. Win at Chicago. Chicago gave them hell all they could. Justin Fields looked awesome. But the Dolphins are now undefeated. Get this, 6-0 when he starts and finishes the game. And are now just a half game back of Buffalo for the AFC East lead. And his numbers have been zany, absurd. He is leading the NFL in passer rating and yards per attempt this season, which showcases not only how efficient this quarterback is, which is what we always thought he could be, but also his ability to do something that everyone thought that he couldn't in the big leagues, hit those deep balls that everybody said, oh, he can't do it, I've not seen it. Oh, I love when players shut people up. And I think it was one of my bold predictions heading into the season, the day this show started, that Tua is going to shut people up. And he's also beaten the favorite for MVP. That's a great thing in his argument here. If you're making the case for Tua, he beat Josh head-to-head. And I know that the arguments, because that's what you do when you say something like this, you have to say, well, what are people going to come at you with? And they're going to say, how can you give him the MVP? He missed games. That's exactly why you give him the MVP, or why he has to be in the conversation, because the Dolphins' miserable performances were when he was out with that concussion, and that only serves to make the case that much stronger. It has proved how valuable he is, how important he is to said team.
Like that,
it isn't just Mike McDaniel. You can't say it's the speed. You can't say it's Waddle. You can't say it's Tyke Reed. He is the point guard that is making it all work. So there's a lot of season left. I'm not saying he is the MVP, but I'm saying that he needs to be in the mix and thought of that way. Of course, Marissa, I have your computer and I need you to log in.
Is she wrong? She's right. Okay, Kay, she's right. Tua needs to be front and center in the MVP conversation. Now, I told you, when I made the bet, I put 25 or $50 down. I got to go back in and check. But I put 25 or $50 down on Tua at plus 6,000 to be the MVP. And it was at plus 6,000 on FanDuel. These are the new FanDuel odds. Tua is all the way up to plus 2,200. He's gone up 3,800 points. Now, he's still got a way to go. But for a guy who's missed 3 games, he's currently the 7th. Well, I mean, if you're going to tie Geno, then he's 6th. Geno and Joe Burrow, but he's currently 7th on this list. And this is a guy who missed 3 games. And I'm going to be, I'm going to be honest with you right now. If Tua Tagovailoa didn't miss games, he might be running away with the MVP candidacy right now. Think about that one. Let that one settle in. Tua Tagovailoa could be running away with the MVP candidacy right now if he didn't get hurt. Ooh, how does that feel, haters? That's just got to drive it in, eh? I love it. How does that one feel, huh? How does that one feel? Let me know. Clowns. How does that one feel? Man, that's got to hurt, huh? And it is the absolute truth, though. That's what's crazy. Think about that for a sec. That's the absolute truth. All right? Now, let's start recapping this game. Let's get into it. Man, I love my football team right now. Oof. We can talk so much smack to the negative Nancy's that have lived and dwelled in our communities on all these different platforms, all the way to fans of other teams. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right. Especially one who knows what he's doing when it comes to film breakdowns and such. All right. Let's continue going on here. Sorry, give me one sec, guys. All right, there it is. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's get into the snap counts. Let's recap and review. Let's get into the snap counts. All right. The snap counts, you saw the offense right there. Look at, hey, huge first day for Jeff Wilson. 28 and 27 snaps. Mostert. Jeff Wilson technically outsnapped Mostert by 1 snap. 28-27. So 53 snaps to go around, but it was clearly a 1-2 punch. That's pretty interesting. Loved it. Look at Smythe. Back to outsnapping Gesicki. Kind of crazy. Back at it. And then, obviously, Sherfield clear wide receiver 3. I mean, not even a discussion to be had, really, there. Now, let's head over and let's look at the defensive snap counts, all right? So, the defensive snap counts are as follows. Okay, so you see Holland and Xavier Howard, they each had 100% of the snap counts. You look at Channing Tindall, though, too. If you look at Tindall here, early snaps for Tindall on 3rd down. He only ended up getting 5 snaps. I mean, you saw him. They had him as a spy at one point. And he whiffed on a tackle, and I didn't see him very much after. And then Duke Riley all of a sudden ended up getting snaps, and he got up to like 17. You see Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe basically was our starting. He got the starting amount of snaps at strong safety after being a healthy scratch. So maybe they weren't lying. Maybe all along it really was just a special teams decision. You see Bradley Chubb. Chubb had 54 snaps in his debut. Phillips did outsnap him. He had 61, and so did Roberts at linebacker. But, Chubb did outsnap Baker. Baker down to 61% of the snaps. Remember when we used to see Baker over the last couple of years, this guy was flirting with anywhere from 80 to 100% of the snaps regularly. And whenever he went down to a 60% of the snaps, it was always a discussion. But now no one really talks about it. But Baker down to about 61% of the snaps. He had 45 snaps. And look at Crossan comes back. Kahoo comes back. And that coaching staff don't give a damn about what Noah Igbenogany did a couple weeks ago. He was outsnapped by Crossan and Kahoo. Kahoo was clear far and away the number 2 corner. He saw 99% of the snaps. Crossan saw 27%. And then you saw Noah Igbenogany saw 26. And then Elijah Campbell saw about 22%. So really from court CB3 to CB5, it was kind of like a committee, right? So yeah, interesting things when we look at the snap counts every week. There's always something to pick apart. It's more than just numbers and percentages, at least when we do it over here on Finside the NFL. So always some stuff to take away just from looking at snap counts week in and week out, right? Like you look at, Gesicki to Smythe this year. You look at Baker snap counts last year to where he is this year. Always something to take away. And they are always informative and always worth your time and worth your eyes, right? So that's why we go over them here. All right, let's get into some PFF grades. All right. So the PFF grades are as follows. As usual, we'll start off with the offensive grades. And Tyreek Hill was your number one graded offensive player. He had a 93.3. Cedric Wilson had an 88. And Jalen Waddle had an 85.4. Tua had an 81.3. He was your fourth highest graded guy. Hunter Long came in at 5 at 76.3. And then Alec Ingold was your lowest graded guy at a 45.8. Mike Gesicki at a 49.9. Raheem Mostert at a 51.2. Robert Jones, he had a couple whiffs when he got to the second level when you go back and watch the film, and we'll be breaking that down. 52.7. And then Brandon Shell, they didn't really grade him out when I thought he did actually a pretty good job yesterday. They gave him a 56.1. So yeah, not too much love for the offensive line on the grades there, that's for sure. Now, when you look at the blocking grades, the Dolphins gave up 8 pressures. Brandon Shell gave up 3, then we gave up 3 hurries. Robert Jones gave up a hurry and 2 hits. Tyron Armstead gave up a hurry and a hit. But other than that, we were good. Pretty clean game from everyone else. Love to see it. Keep those numbers under 10 every game. Let's go. Tua also helps his situation out a lot. So beautiful, beautiful stuff from the offensive line. They continue to get better. They continue to work as a unit, and they continue to protect the quarterback. And they continue to allow the quarterback to get to the ball to our playmakers to do their damn thing. So it's a beautiful thing right now. Now, when you look at Tua Tagovailoa, this is, and we show this because we'll look at Next Gen, and they usually they can have different charts in certain areas. But this is the PFF passing chart for Tua against the Bears in week 9. You see he was pretty deadly on the second level according to them. He was 7 of 8. Deep, he was 3 for 4. And then from the 6 to the 10, he was 8 for 10. So good stuff. And then behind the line of scrimmage, they had him as 3 for 4. You look at this yesterday, when he was kept clean, he was 18 of 22, 81% completion percentage, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns. His average depth of target was 9.9 yards. His yards per attempt was 13. And his adjusted completion percentage actually spikes up to 86.4. What have I said all year? We've gone over these numbers. When Tua is kept clean, he is unbelievable. Under pressure, he was 3 for 8 for a 37.5 completion percentage. Not very good. His adjusted completion percentage, though, did spike up to 75%. And his average depth of target was 7.8. And his yards per attempt was 2.1. So you keep this guy clean, and you are going to shred like cheese through a grater. I love it. You look at it, too. On play action, it was 11 for 17 for a touchdown, 147 yards, a 64.7 completion percentage, 8.6 yards per attempt, an adjusted completion percentage of 85.7, an average depth of target of 7.6. On straight dropbacks, he was 10 of 13 for 155 yards, 2 touchdowns, average depth of target 11.8, yards per attempt 11.9. He was cooking. And his adjusted completion percentage was 83.3. So great stuff from Tua Tagovailoa in the pocket yesterday, especially when he was kept clean. and on straight dropbacks. Love it, love it, love it. Defensively, Kader Kahu becomes your number 1 graded defensive player, 81.2. Landon Roberts, number 2 at a 77.2. Melvin Ingram, number 3 at a 71.8. Jerome Baker, number 4 at a 71.2. Jalen Phillips rounds it out at a 71.1. Christian Wilkins right behind him at a 68.3. At the bottom, Channing Tindall, they gave him a 28.4. Wow. And that was with a pressure. But that's because he had 2 misses. Keon Crossan had a 28.6. He as well had 2 missed tackles. Elijah Campbell, yeah, they rated him low, 37. Raekwon Davis, 42.8. Emmanuel Ogbah, 43.1. As he continues to struggle. I mean, the grades back up what we're seeing on tape. Emmanuel Ogbah has just been a struggle since he signed. And, brother, all I'm going to say to you, Ogbah, if they ain't going to wait around on Chase Edmonds, they ain't going to wait around on you, my friend. So you got to get it done. When you look at coverage, Kader Kahu in coverage yesterday allowed 4 receptions on 7 targets for 19 yards and a first down. You look at Eric Rowe in coverage. He was targeted 6 times, allowed 5 receptions for 21 yards. You look at Xavier Howard, allowed 2 receptions on 4 targets for 2 first downs, a touchdown, and he actually had a drop. St. Brown dropped a ball against him. Elijah Campbell, he's targeted 3 times, allowed 2 receptions for 20 yards, a first down, a touchdown, and he had a drop. Chase Claypool had a drop against him. Keon Crossan targeted twice, allowed 1 reception for 12 yards and a first down. Landon Roberts targeted twice in coverage, allowed 1 reception for 12 yards and a first down. Noah Monogany targeted twice, allowed 1 reception for 9 yards. Javon Holland, he was targeted once, allowed 1 reception for 4 yards, a first, and a touchdown. So, overall, Fields really didn't overly test them. Now, what I want to do here is let's go by position. Let's go by passing grades. Right now, Tua Tagovailoa is the number 1 graded passer in the NFL. I want to show you this, guys. And I didn't even adjust dropbacks or anything. I didn't even have to adjust dropbacks. If you go offensively, he's number 1 as well. And again, I didn't even have to adjust dropbacks. I'm just saying. I am just saying. I didn't even have to adjust minimum dropbacks here. Didn't even have to. I mean, I can go 20. It doesn't change anything. But I'll just stick it at 1. Tua Tagovailoa, number 1. Him and Jalen Hurts, man. But, yeah, there you go. Tua Tagovailoa, number 1 graded passer and the quarterback with the highest offensive grade. I'm just saying. Shout out to Tua Tagovailoa for getting it done. Just saying. Can you hear that? MVP, 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 MVP. Did you hear that? I heard that. I'm just saying. I might sound like the dream out here. You know what I mean? Continue saying, I'm just saying, but what else can I say? Like Jay-Z told y'all on the Black Album. What more can I say? What can I? Let's just ask a question. MVP, baby. Do you spell Tua T-U-A or MVP? Oh, we'll figure out, won't we? All right. Let's get into the next gen stats. And, oh, man. I told you I'd be insufferable. Let's get into the next gen stats and passing grades here. Because just, you go back to what I said earlier about how Tua is the first quarterback in Dolphin history, to have consecutive games of 300-plus yards passing, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. That kills our whole narrative. Well, it was against this team. Well, it was against that team. Well, do you think Marino never had stretches in his career where he faced back-to-back, even back-to-back-to-back bad teams? Stop. All right? Let's go. And he had, and again, well, you're Tyreek, and he has Waddle. Well, that man had the Duper, bro. You know, that guy had Mark Duper and Mark Clayton. That man had the Mark brothers. So, really? And go look up their 40s if you want a good time. All right. Passing charts from yesterday. I'm actually going to show you 2 from Justin Fields. This is Justin Fields' passing chart. Look at the man didn't even test. He tested beyond 10 yards twice, according to Next Gen Stats. 17 of 28 for 123 yards. All the touchdowns were just gimme, easy, high percentage open throws. So, just saying, not overly impressive, but he was efficient. They asked him, okay, here's how he was efficient for the game plan execution and what he's asked to do. So I ain't gonna hate on Justin Fields. He had a great performance yesterday overall. Not gonna hate on this kid. He is looking like he's gonna be the best one in that class, and everyone knows I was not a huge Lawrence fan, and I loved this kid. I loved Justin Fields coming out. So, but when you look at his carry chart, look at this. I had to show you guys this. Look at this man. Look at this man just getting that edge and just letting it go. Unreal. 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 Look at that. Brother, Mark Clayton was a fantastic route runner. Look at this. Look at this. Unbelievable. Just getting to that edge. Just getting to that edge and taking off. Man, we got to contain and set that edge much, much better. Now, when you look at Tua's passing chart, 21 of 30, 302, 3 touchdowns, and this is what he did. This is what he did. Pretty decent stuff beyond 10 yards. Only had 3 incompletions, according to Next Gen Stats, when he threw the ball beyond 10 yards. And only had 6 incompletions total when he threw beyond the line of scrimmage. So, great stuff from Tua yesterday, man. Love it. Slicing and dicing, surgical, the Samoan sniper, out there getting it done. Out there getting it done. Love it. Love it. I'm here for it. All right? Absolute stud. Man, absolute stud. That's my quarterback, baby. My quarterback. That's my quarterback, baby. All right. Got to do the Terrell. Got to hit him with the Terrell. Man, we feeling froggy today. Now, let's get into the actual Next Gen Stats. We'll get into... I think we'll get into the Game Center and everything there. Let's slide back on over to Next Gen Stats. So, the longest completed air distance was Tua at 37.3 yards yesterday. Justin Fields had one at 35. Fastest ball carrier was Justin Fields. He got up to 20.72 miles per hour on that touchdown run of his. Tyreek got up to 19.37. The only sack of the game was Melvin Ingram, and that reset, and I don't know why. I don't know why that did that. Anyways, back at it. So you see their charts compared. Look at, you can already see the discrepancies on the second and third level that Tua's Next Gen chart has compared to PFF's, right? So rushing, Raheem Mostert had most of his success going to the left side. Wilson is pretty even. You know what I mean? Had some success running to the left. Had a lot of his big explosive run to that right side. And then you look at Justin Fields. What a unicorn. Unreal. 6 attempts for 120 yards and a touchdown off the left edge. My God. Unreal. Here, oh man, this is a beautiful thing. After if you've been with me for the past couple of seasons and you've seen where Devontae was at like 0.9 yards, Gesicki was at like 0.8 yards, to see these now average receiver separation charts is so beautiful. You look at Tyreek Hill, 3.81 yards, Smythe, 4.64 yards, Gesicki, 3.85 yards, Waddle, 3.62, Sherfield, 6.4 average receiver separation per route. And the league average is 2.92. My goodness, that's beautiful to look at. You look at the Bears, Mooney 3.51, Komet 3.78, Claypool 3.27, and N'Keal Harry at 3.12. So they're all over the league average as well. But man, after what we've seen the last couple of years, this is so beautiful to see. Devontae and Gesicki couldn't separate worth a damn in the last couple offenses. You look at average separation from the QB. Look at this. Guys, look at this. Again, if you've been following me all season, Jalen Phillips has pretty much led the way week in and week out at average separation from QB. The league average is 4.53 yards. We get Bradley Chubb, and Bradley Chubb bumps Jalen Phillips to 2. Bradley Chubb led the way at 4.37 yards. Jalen Phillips at 4.91. Christian Wilkins at 5.42. Seiler at 5.73. Now over there, Travis Gibson. We held him well beyond the league average at 4.96. Blackson at 5.45. Jones at 5.49. Muhammad at 6.1. Wow. So what does that tell me? Be patient. It's going to come with Bradley. It is going to come with Bradley Chubb. Just be patient, people. Just be patient. That's what that tells me. And, hey, we've done it the last 2 weeks. Let's keep looking at it. Guess what? Ain't things changed? Tua is still the most efficient quarterback in the NFL by a wide margin. When we look at EPA per play over completion percentage above expected, Tua Tagovailoa light years ahead of the competition right now in terms of efficiency. Tua Tagovailoa is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. Say it with me. Put your chest out. Because what have I told y'all? Keep your highlight reel big arm throws. You give me elite efficiency. You give me elite accuracy and a high football IQ. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We will beat that highlight reel arm, that big arm. We will beat them 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. And you want me to keep... You know what? I ain't even done with y'all. I ain't even done with y'all. All right? Not even done. All right? Let me hit y'all with the 411. Let's bring in PFF grades and efficiency into the mix now. If we go by PFF grades and efficiency through week 9, again, 2 is still number 1, baby. Right there at the top to the right. This analytics, the statistics, nothing's back in all y'all haters and doubters now. Now what? Now what? We have the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, and because of that, we're 6-0 when he starts. Tell me I was wrong when I said elite efficiency, elite accuracy, and a high football IQ will beat that highlight reel big arm 9 times, 10 times out of 10. And you know what comparison I'm talking about to a Herbert, to a Herbert. You look at where Herbert is right here. Go look, Herbert middle of the pack, baby. Right by Brady in the middle of the pack. Now, Brady and Rodgers, you know, they're getting older. Brady's going through a divorce. Rodgers lost all of his weapons. Now, I know Herbert's dealing with injuries, but Tua didn't get that excuse. I ain't trying to hear it. Ain't trying to hear it, baby. Ain't trying to hear it. Watch me not shed tears. Y'all didn't shed tears for us. I ain't going to shed any tears for y'all. Like I've shown week in, week out. Tua Tagovailoa is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. Love it. You want to celebrate that efficiency? Head on over to Finside, the NFL FanDuel.com. Go to the shop and, go buy yourself a Tua's Cooking t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Go get a Tua Time shirt. Go get a Samoan Sniper shirt. And you know what? I love this Hawaiian Punch mug. I'm sorry. Man, we got Tua merch. We got everyone's merch here. And it's hoodie season. So we got the Chef Tua sweater. We got the Tua Time hoodie. We got the McDaniel for Coach of the Year hoodie. You know what I'm saying? We got the Jalen Phillips. We got the X. We got it all, baby. And you damn right, we got the Samoan Sniper hoodie too. And that Samoan Sniper hoodie, that thing is fresh, baby. So go check it out. FinsideTheNFL.com. Spend over $100. Use GameDay10 at checkout. And all the sizing goes up to like over 5X. So we're good, baby. All right. Tomorrow night, me, Martin, ball game. We're breaking it all down. Tua Tagovailoa is all 22. We will be breaking down like we've done from his first snap in the NFL all the way to this point. We will break down every Tua Tagovailoa drop back from, now yesterday. It's going to be in 2 days, but yesterday from the Week 9 victory over the Bears. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a fun film session. Always fun when Tua is surgical and shredding the defense. And that's been a lot this year. So you're going to want to tune in to catch me and the homies. Then Wednesday night, as always, me and ball game and the legendary, my good friend, Richmond Webb, will be with us, and we'll be doing the finish line. That's going to be exciting. I can't wait. We're doing some Tua victory laps this week, baby. And then Friday, we'll be previewing the Browns game, because Wednesday with the finish line, we'll be moving on to the Browns game as well. Wednesdays we move on to the Browns game, so we'll be doing that. And then we'll be live reacting to the Browns game on Sunday as they travel to Hard Rock. So busy week. Lots of things going on. I appreciate all of y'all. Please smash that like button. Guys, we're getting there. I'm doing a giveaway at 10K. We're going to have 3 different winners. So let's get there. We are just around 200 subs to 10K. So let's get there. Let's do it, man. I'll be doing a 3-person giveaway. So love all y'all. I will see each and every one of y'all tomorrow night for the All 22 breakdown. You already know what time it is, baby. Fins up all day, every day. Enjoy Monday Night Football, people. Let's go. 6-3. 7-3 is going to feel even better, baby.